Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a bike review. And this one is the PVY Z20 Max, which is apparently a city power e-bike. And you may have noticed that it looks slightly different because that is not a water bottle on top there, or a pee bottle if you're van life, but an extra battery. So it's got two batteries, one in the middle of the frame, like normal kind of folding e-bikes, and then that one on top, which you might call it a range extender. So yeah, quite keen to go on this one. 20-inch folding e-bike, but they're not fat tire. So it's more of a city sort of commuter than it is a go explore through a forest or mountain or whatever. So yeah, quite keen to go and try this one out. So come along for the ride. Okay, so this is the PVY Z20 Max. It's a dual battery folding e-bike. Quite a decent spec one. We'll go through the whole spec in a minute. But they reckon with this dual battery, with this sort of canister battery and the internal frame battery, there is a 200 kilometer range, or maximum range anyway. I'll put a little conversion on screen now just to tell you what that is in miles. And that is basically a combined power of 25.6 amp hours. So quite a lot really. For those of you interested in this torque of the motor, 80 newton meters. And it does have a torque sensor as well. So as soon as you touch the pedals, it's going, its power's there. So it's absolutely brilliant. It is a 250 watt rear hub motor. So it does make it a UK or an EU legal bike. However, there is an unlock feature as well for those markets that aren't restricted. Or for example, once the UK goes through this sort of consultation period right now, and if they change it so there's no 250 watt rear limit, then obviously you can update that and change it, and then you can unlock the full potential. There's 5-speed e-bike assistance modes, so 5 levels of assistance, and they do give quite a good assistance in all fairness. At the 250 watt power it's at now, you do get quite a lot of power out of them. You've got front and rear suspension, albeit it's a basic front fork suspension, and a rear mechanical shock absorber, so it's not air shock or anything like that, but it does make the ride more comfortable. The net weight of this bike with all the batteries is 27 kilos, so it's quite lightweight considering all the batteries you've got on there. Tyres wise, it's a 20-inch tyre, 2.3 inch wide, so sort of like a medium sort of difference between a racing bike with narrow skinny wheels and a fat tyre bike as well. And they do provide a fair bit of comfort actually, and a fair bit of grip. Quite fond of them. I have been so far riding road and trail, and I can say that the tyres offer a good amount of grip and stability and control. You've got hydraulic brakes front and rear with 160mm discs on there as well. Nice comfy seat with the rear suspension, does make it a bit more of a comfortable ride. So you've got a 7-speed Shimano gear set on there, which is good enough for most hills, especially with the amount of power this has got. Put it in first gear, it'll climb up hills, no worries. Especially on the sort of the average commute, it's not going to be probably climbing hills Tour de France wise, but never say never. And 7th gear has about enough resistance to get you to about 25 miles an hour. So you've got front and rear lights, and the rear light is also a brake light as well. The rider weight limit is 150 kilograms, and then you can have 25 kilograms on the rear rack as well. So pretty good really for a bike of this size. So the minimum handlebar height is 109 centimeters. The maximum handlebar height is 122 centimeters. The seat can go from 79 centimeters up to 95 centimeters. The wheelbase, so the length between the bike front and rear, is 157 centimeters. And when it's folded, the total length is 89 centimeters. The total height is 65 centimeters, and it's 38 centimeters width. So it's quite a compact size when it is actually folded. So what they're saying is, with the different level adjustments in the seat height and the handlebars, etc., your rider height can be between 4'9" and 6'5". So yeah, that's quite good really. So I'm on this little airstrip perimeter at the moment. So let's do standing start just on throttle. See what speed we can get up to. I know this is important to a few people. Ooh, sounds like I'm going to take off. 27, 28, 30, 30 and a half, 31, 31 and a half, 31 and a half. Oh, and it's got cruise control as well. So now I've used the throttle for that amount of time. No hands-free, 30 miles an hour. Right, let's do an emergency stop from 30 miles an hour. Really good brakes. And the throttle is only available in power assistance mode 0. So if I go to 1 now, I have got no throttle. But obviously now we do the torque sensor. I am in the wrong gear, so I'm just going to move forward and change gear. Right. So as we know, now it can do 31 miles an hour on throttle. Let's do the same sort of test again through the gears. So I'm in first gear, power assistance mode 5. Let's see what we get to now. Sixth gear straight away, really. Seventh gear, 25 miles an hour. Come on. 25 miles an hour. 26 miles an hour. Now climbing a hill a little bit now. Ooh, fly in the helmet. Nothing worse than a fly in the helmet. So let's go over the controls. On the left hand side, we've got a nice palm grip, leatherette, tan as well. Ooh, posh. And yeah, we've got some hydraulic brakes, and the left brake is the front brake, which you know how I feel about that. Then after that, we've got the little buttons for the lights, front and rear lights. Then we've got a horn, quite a nice loud horn. And then we got the 3-button controller for the color display. Obviously turn the bike on, go through all your different settings on there, and also go through the trip, so you can go through how many miles you've done. Then obviously then your color screen in the middle. It's quite a nice bright color screen. All the information on there, battery levels, current speed you're doing, like I say, assistance mode, all that kind of stuff. Then going over to the right, you've got a 7-speed Shimano gear controls. Then you've got a throttle control, which only works in power assistance mode 0, I might add. So once you can actually start to cycle, there's no throttle, doesn't work at all, only in power assistance mode 0, where you don't get power assistance, you just get throttle, or if you start to pedal, you don't get any assistance. That's just the way they've done it. And then you've got the rear brake lever, like I say, for me, the rear brake lever should be on the left, well, hey ho. And then another lovely little palm rest, tan palm rest. And they do give you a bigger palm rest in the bag, should you want to remove the throttle. So again, out of the box, this is a UK legal bike. The throttle is walk assist mode only, so it makes it perfectly legal. So if you don't actually want the throttle at all, then they give you the other palm rest to get a bigger palm rest, which I think is pretty cool, really. And as far as assembly is concerned, well, it kind of isn't any, really. As you can see here, straight out of the box, everything's well packaged, but everything's assembled, apart from the handlebars. Pop the handlebar stem and the handlebars on. I then had to put the little colour screen on, and ultimately pump the tyres up, and that was it. It's just ready to go out the box almost. It's just, yeah, 20 minutes and you're done. So as I set off from a junction like that, I'm straight on the power, torque sensors there, straight up into the gears. So 5th gear, 18 miles an hour. And then obviously then the power kicks off. Because yeah, it's legal. Yeah, I find it nice, a nice smooth ride. 20-inch wheels seem to be the sweet spot of wheels for folding bikes. The frame and everything else, well constructed. Everything works well. And whether it's over tarmac or gravel, you know, it's nice and smooth as well. Now obviously they are aiming this at a city bike, so commuting, canal towpaths, bike tracks, that kind of stuff. And it's dealing with it well. I'm on a fairly sort of like, you know, average gravel path at the moment. It's nice and comfortable, the seat's comfortable. So how long have I been out on it now? Oop, come on, tell me. Right, so I've been riding for an hour and a half now, doing this little bike review. And my butt torques are totally fine. I've done 38 miles. And like I say, some of that's been over the gravel path or tarmac. And it just deals with it. It's a really, really good bike. So there we go. How nice is that? The PVY Z20 Max City Power with new Sport Power. The stickers down the side. Altogether, really nice bike. Like I say, very little assembly needed. So can't argue with that, the way that they send them all these days. I'm really liking it. So anybody can assemble them. You do get the tools in there just to finish them off. The fact you've got front and rear lights, you know, hydraulic disc brakes, good tyres on there. You've got front and rear suspension, nice handlebars and grips and that. Obviously that's a very, very long range bike. And yeah, to charge it was, let's say, to charge it, first of all, the first thing you notice is you only get one charger. So you have to charge the battery in the frame first and then the other battery after that. I have noticed as well, you do need the key for the lower battery to give power. However, you can just ride it off the top battery, which I'm doing now, so you don't have to have the key in the bottom. Kind of like defeats the object. But if I did want the other bike power as well, then I would have to have the key with me to enable both batteries. But yeah, I kind of like it. It's a comfortable bike to ride. It's probably a much shorter bike than some of the bikes I've ridden. So the distance between the seat post and the handlebars is much shorter than some of them. But ever so sort of like easy to ride as well. You don't feel twitchy with it or anything like that. So yeah, as usual, if I've managed to secure any sort of discounts or anything like that, they'll be in the video description down below. And a link to purchase it and read more information will be in that video description down below too. And until the next one, thanks for watching. See you again. Bye.